and get us started. Good morning, everyone. My name is Alexis Gossick. I'm with the Technology Council of Central PA. Thanks very much for carving time out to join us this morning for our Today's Tech session with BrillDog and Frank DeSantis. Frank, thanks so much for joining us this morning. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Frank and let Frank take us away and get us started.
Great. Thanks so much, Alexis. Thanks, everybody, for joining, and really happy to be here and be able to share the BrillDog story. So my name is Frank DeSantis. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at BrillDog. I've been here just about 2 years now, and previously had 23 years at Stanley Black & Decker in a variety of different roles. And BrillDog was really born from our CEO and founder, Sam Polikoff. He's got a family business, family-owned business. He's the third generation owner. He just turned it over to his son, Ryan. The company's name is Nexteris, and they do management consulting services for supply chain. And BrillDog was really the software version or the transportation management system with a really cool vision in place, which I'm going to take you through today. So that's kind of the background on BrillDog. What I plan on taking everyone through today is, what is supply chain? Just a quick high-level 101. No one's going to be a supply chain expert. I'm certainly not leading this session, but just a high level of what supply chain is, why it's important, and how BrillDog is going to help solve some of those problems. I'll walk you through a quick demo, a couple minutes, just show you what it looks like, just so you get a feel and maybe bring it to life a little bit. And then I'll kind of summarize where we're at, where we've been, and then open it up for any questions. So please stop me anywhere along the way if you have a question, or you can wait till the end and we can address them. All right, so supply chain, why is it important? What is it? Why is it important? I'll start off by saying supply chain is very complex. There's a lot of intricacies that people don't know about. We as consumers, I think, really experienced it and started talking about it during COVID. When your toilet paper wasn't on the shelves, the milk wasn't on the shelves, what's going on and what's impacting that. And as I've learned over the last couple of years, and many companies, owners, small businesses don't know about, is the complexity that goes into it. And so what all does it involve? You think about procuring raw materials, your products from overseas. There's multiple modes of transportation. So there's the ocean, there's the air, there's the trucks that we see on the highways, there's rail cars. In the future, there may be drones. So all of those transportation modes to get the products to where they need to go help make up supply chain. There's factories involved, ports, warehouses, distribution centers, so a lot of locations. There's expansive geographies, so not only here in the US, in North America, but overseas, as we mentioned as well. And then there's people and technology that play into that. So you mix all of that together, and that's really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to supply chain. But trying to manage all of that, locate where things are, and coordinate is really complex, as I mentioned. The common goal, though, of supply chain is really to provide the right product to the right place at the right time. We as consumers want to go into a store, we want to buy our product. We want to go online and we want to buy our product, and we want to have it arrive. We don't want to wait. We don't want delays. As retailers, they want to make as much money as they can, and distributors. So how do they provide that product on the shelves to their end consumers quickly and efficiently as possible? So what does a good supply chain look like? This is an example. On the far left, that first little building or factory that pops up is a factory. It's where they make the goods. They put it on a boat, send it overseas, sails the ocean. That could take a couple of weeks. It's then offloaded on a port. That truck then brings it most likely to a distribution center. Then that distribution center sends that product out all to their individual stores. Then we as consumers go into that store to buy that product. So at any point in that process, if something breaks, if something's delayed, it causes that chain reaction for those delays, price increases. So there's a lot of things that can happen. So unfortunately, we felt that pain very near and dear, close to our heart here in the Maryland and Pennsylvania, Delaware area when the Key Bridge collapsed, right? So supply chains, when they worked really well, we don't know anything about it. When they don't, we all know about it. And so when disaster strikes, when something goes wrong, here's what can happen, right? The ships can't get in and out of the ports. That means they can't deliver the goods to the port to go where they need to go. They also can't take anything out of the ports to go back overseas and exporting and go outwards. Goods and raw materials are now trapped. So I think there was something like 40 boats maybe that were stuck out at sea that had no port to go to. They were supposed to come to Baltimore. Now they have to redirect them. That's a lot of coordination. So they're just kind of sitting and circling. And you hear that at the ports of Long Beach out on the West Coast in California. That's what happens. Those boats just circle until they have a landing zone that they can bring that product into. If the raw goods aren't brought in, then products can't be made. So again, they've got the workers, they've got the manufacturing facilities here in the U.S., but if they don't have the steel, the plastic, the inserts, the switch, the lithium battery to put into that product, that those products can't be made, and then they can't be sent out and sold. Trucks couldn't carry hazmat products, hazardous material, over that bridge anymore. Well, they can't go through the tunnel, so now they had to be circumvented all the way around, if you're familiar with the area, 695, and go a different route, which means longer transport times, which means higher prices because of gas and toll. So you don't think about those things, but that's what certainly can happen. Product can't get to the consumer, us ultimately. There's delay to the customers, and then our least favorite is price increases. So all of that, and probably a lot more, is what happens when a supply chain is impacted. And again, a bridge, you don't think about a bridge collapsing, you think about impacting the supply chain. You think about the lives that are lost, the cost to rebuild it, your commute to work. But really, it's a major supply chain impact when one bridge goes down, when something happens. So the overall problem, all companies face this, right? If you have physical goods, you're trying to ship it like we talked about, or get it to the product, to the right place at the right time for the right person. It can be extremely difficult if you have a lot of internal resources and constraints pulling at you. You as a small business that have goods, you've got your own set of systems. You've got your own resources, both people and monetarily. You may be dealing with different carriers today. So the XPOs, STs, Old Dominions of the world, going onto their site directly and trying to ship your product for the best cost. And then you've got finance, pulling at you. You've got your operations team, logistics, the sales team. So there's a lot going on there. That's kind of the middle. And at the top, then you layer in the global impact of these pandemics, the wars, and certainly Ukraine and Russia, China, right, from a tariff standpoint. All of that can put a lot of compression on a small to mid-sized business. Puts it on any company, but large companies can really ward that off because they've got an enterprise ERP system. They probably have 20, 30, 40 people working in their logistics department. You think about yourself as a small business, you're the sole proprietor. You may be the owner, but you may be the transportation manager as well. You may hire one person, but they're not an expert in all this complexity. So it can be very, very daunting for a small business just to keep up and keep on moving. So that's the problem. What BrillDog really aims to solve is to become the world's first supply chain management system, complete supply chain management system for the small to mid-sized business. We're not out there competing with the Oracles and SAPs and the large ERP systems. They have an element of supply chain along with a lot of other things, but we're going to take the best of the ERP systems, but make them just the critical functions for supply chain and deliver them to the small to mid-sized business in a SaaS platform that'll be affordable, scalable, and kind of grow with you as your business grows. And you'll have visibility then to manage your products, inventory, logistics, ultimately saving you time, money, efficiency, costs, people, labor. There's a lot of good things that can happen. So let's take a look at how we're going to do that. So our product really begins with the middle section. So if you look at these blue bubbles in the middle, they represent what's called a TMS, or transportation management system. That's highly commoditized today. You can buy that product off of the shelf. And what that's going to give you is order management functionality. You can rate a shipment, meaning I can go on to a carrier website and I can get a cost to move those products. Load planning, which comes in the full truckload. I can track my shipment just like we all do on Amazon or UPS today, where I can know when it was picked up, when it was delivered, if there's any issues in between, and then I can pay for that shipment on a transportation management system. So we started there. We built our own that's up and operational, and I'll show you a little bit about how that looks today. The orange is really where the vision of the CEO founder I talked about comes in, and that's the magic of BrillDog. That does not exist today. It exists in, you can buy off the shelf software to do individual elements of this, but pulling it all together is the magic of BrillDog. So if you go all the way back to where do I source my product from, you'll have visibility to that in the BrillDog platform. Being able to procure that in the BrillDog platform. Warehouse management. So not tracking the actual physical products moving around the warehouse, but when I bring my goods in, where in North America should I stand up a distribution center based on the data that I have in BrillDog that says I'm moving my product to these customers in this area over this amount of time. We'll say, you know what, Kansas is the best place to put a warehouse versus New Jersey or the West Coast in California. And then the fun really starts to happen with optimization, business intelligence, machine learning, AI is behind that, right? We got to kind of crawl, walk, run. We're in the crawl phase right now of gathering data. The system will be able to recommend, hey, we noticed that you made X amount of LTL shipments this week or this month, or less than truckload LTL shipments this month. If you consolidate them into one full truckload and wait actually 2 weeks from now, you'll get that product to your customer faster and cheaper. So the BrillDog platform will think for you. You don't need a team of logistics experts to know supply chain, to know logistics in order to transact on a daily basis. So what makes us unique? We're really that aggregator of all supply chain data. I like to think of us as the Google, right? If you go to Google to search anything, you would go to BrillDog to search supply chain elements. What do I need? What works for my business? It'll give you complete visibility. You'll be able to optimize your networks, your inventory, your transportation, and really make more strategic and better decision making. And then we really enter early in that supply chain lifecycle at that sourcing phase. So again, today, supply chain and logistics is really meant to be around the transportation. We want to go backwards in that life cycle and talk about sourcing and procurement and how do you bring all of that together. So let's take a look then. So that's a high level of what we're trying to do. This is how we're going to do it. So we beta launched our FreeDog platform. We've got 3 levels, FreeDog, Little Dog, and then the complete supply chain suite. So again, if the size of your business, the complexity of your business may dictate what subscription level you want to be a part of. FreeDog is free. It's not a 30-day free trial. It's free for as long as you want to do it. And you have these elements. So you can rate your shipment. So I can get a quote basically. It's $200 to move my goods from Maryland to New Jersey with X carry. You can do that on the platform. You can get basic reporting, basic dashboards, and some basic truckload movements as well. Where we really start to differentiate is this highlighted dashed box from the product marketplace. So that's where the sourcing element comes in. If I'm sourcing products, I don't know, glass for candles, I'll be able to go on the BrillDog platform and I could find a qualified vendor that's on that platform that makes glass with another client on the platform, and then I could vet them and start using them as a vendor. Phase 2, we're in the process of that right now. We're going to be having some releases and launches here over the next couple of months. So within 60 days, we'll be able to deliver all of these elements in the Little Dog. And that just gives you upgraded features. There's additional fee and cost for that, but you'll be able to start doing some of that international inbound and outbound transportation movement. You'll be able to connect your own rates. So if you've got rates negotiated with carriers, you can bring that in. And then there's a whole host of other elements that you can do. And then the complete supply chain suite, that'll launch in 2025. Again, we've got to start with the basic, those blue circles, the transportation management side of things. We need to get the client using the platform and their data in there. And that'll start to unlock all of the machine learning, business intelligence, and the AI. So we can't get to the complete supply chain before we do phases 1 and 2. We get customers on board and quite honestly, probably have about 6 months of data to really get that thing humming in the background. So let me walk over to a quick demonstration. I've got that pulled up over here. So can everybody still see my stop? Let me reshare. show that. Just give me a quick head nod if you can see my screen now with the platform. Okay, good. We can still see that. So this is the platform. This is what you would be brought into. This is your dashboard. So you can see the shipments. This is the overall dashboard. So I can see the shipments that have been scheduled. There's 7 in total. I see that 6 have been scheduled. 1 has actually failed. And I can see that in my list down here. That one's fallen off. But I can see the map of where everything is moving right now. So everything is an LTL or less than truckload shipment right now. So they're in the black line. We would have a different colored line if you had full truckload, another colored line if you had parcel as well. I can see all the clients that are transacting on this platform right now. So the clients are listed, who their admin is, headquarters, contacts, and when contracts expire, and if they're active or inactive. So here's an account that's inactive. So it's very easy and manual that I can click on, make them active or inactive, depending on if they're doing business. Commodities, so that's the product that you're shipping. You're able to search. So if I'm looking for ink cartridges, I can search that. And here you can see ink and related materials. And it's really important to have that correct NMFC code. That's how rating happens. That's how carriers charge you. So again, the system does this all for you. You just need to know your description. If you happen to know the NMFC number, you can certainly put that in as well. And that will pop up when BrillDog's running with the exact NMFC code that you're looking for. So again, easy, efficient, don't have to be an expert in it. The system can really do a lot of this for you. The carriers, so these are the carriers that we have set up right now, and you can see some that you probably recognize on the road. So Estes, FedEx, Old Dominion, RNL. We've got the nation's top carriers already loaded in our system and they're active. Here's the list of the next ones that we'll be bringing on board. And we have a direct API connection with them. So they're giving us real life data as we go through. Quotes, I can see all the quotes that are in the system. So today, there's almost 90 quotes that have gone in the system since we've gone live in the middle of June. Into any one of these and see more details. Shipments, I've got those as well. So again, the 7 shipments, I can see that they've been scheduled. And then here's the ones that I had mentioned before that had failed. So I can see the status. And the last couple things, we don't have any today, but I could file a claim directly from here. I don't have to go out to the carrier website. I can link it directly with a shipment. If it was damaged, if a shipment was made and the product was damaged, it was lost, stolen, whatever it might be, I can go right on the BrillDog platform and pull that down. And then you'll have access to reports as well. So you can see all of your quotes, shipments, and history over the last 3 months, 1 year, or 3 years, depending on the subscription. All right, let me go back to the BrillDog presentation. And you all are able to see that, the demonstration slide. See if I move forward here. Nope. All right, let me reshare. For some reason, every time I switch, I gotta reshare. Let's do that. All right, how about now? Go-to-market strategy. Perfect. Thank you. So, go-to-market is really important to us. We've got 2 avenues that we're going. Actually, it's kind of out of order here, but the first one is on the bottom, the VAR channel. This is a value-added reseller. So Nexteris, the parent company that I mentioned, they're the first ones that we're onboarding. So they've got their book of business or clients that they're bringing over. They'll be using the BrillDog platform to transact. So both the Nexteris internal employees as well as their clients will log into BrillDog and they'll do all of their transportation transactions through there. The second set, we haven't gotten there yet, which is really on top. The first one is the direct client. So that would be someone like yourself who has a small business, who, by the way, we categorize a small business as $100 million roughly and down. SAP will tell you that a small business to them is $1 billion and up. We're in that $100 million range, certainly flexible on either side there, but that direct customer can come in as well and transact on the BrillDog platform. That's kind of our second avenue and second channel that we'll be attacking. Where we've been, this is from an investment standpoint. So I spent the last couple of years in the pre-seed and seed round. We've gotten money from NextStairs to build out where we are today and what I showed you. As I mentioned, we're connected to the nation's top 10 carriers, so pretty good coverage. We probably have 90% of all your transactions and carriers covered from that standpoint. We are seeking $2 million in Series A funding to complete that 2025 vision of the complete supply chain management system. So we'll have BrillDog and LittleDog stood up by the end of this year, and then 2025 is really where we're looking to go and make some movement. So in summary, we've got a few minutes here, and then I want to open it up for questions. BrillDog's really looking to provide that complete supply chain solution for the small to mid-sized companies. The BrillDog features are complete. They're available now, and LittleDog features will be in progress and complete here in the next 60 days. We are looking for interested customers to pilot and provide feedback. So if you saw something here that you liked, if you've got more questions, I'll leave my contact here at the end as well. Certainly feel free to reach out to me and would love to have a further discussion. And if you know any investors or are an investor yourself, we are seeking $2 million in seed funding Series A to develop a full supply chain suite. So I'm going to pause there. Again, I've got my contact information up on the screen, so you can take that down. Feel free to reach out directly to me via email or phone, and be happy to answer any questions. But that's it for my presentation today. I'll open up to any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Frank. I'm with Fulton Bank. I'm on more of the technology side within the bank. But as you were going through this, I was just thinking, is there partnerships with like financial institutions where like you got the data that says this small business has a need, or they're doing this type of business, and then a financial institution like Fulton Bank or something could partner, and understand like that need from a loan or deposit type of relationship?
So we don't have any relationships in place today. Hadn't thought about that, but I think you're on the right path. That's the beauty of BrillDog is we have a lot of data, or we'll have a lot of data on these clients, right? And as Sam, our founder and CEO, says, the bill of lading and that freight bill is really the soul of America and these clients. We have a lot of information, rich information. So I do think, Brett, that's something that we could explore here as we go forward, partnering with banks like yourself to provide that information and assistance. That could be an added benefit to the clients, that they could get that loan assistance that they weren't even expecting when they come on the platform. So great idea, and thanks for bringing that forward.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, Frank. So I'm with JFC Global, and we partner with a lot of, organizations in South Central PA. And I was just curious, as you were talking here, well, I'm familiar with you guys. I live in Shrewsbury, so I pass you guys a lot down there. But just curious, like with the amount of what you're looking to do for 2025 with the release of, the new software, what are you guys facing in terms of like staffing and just, the organization growth since when you started?
Yeah, no, we're always looking for good software developers. Right now, we're offshore, so everyone are contractors and they're offshore. They've done a fantastic job. I think where we're really going to need help is in the machine learning, the AI, the business intelligence, business analytics, right? Those are things that we don't have on staff today. We're always looking for good local software developers. That's probably our most immediate need. We just hired an awesome project master, scrum master. Just started last week, in fact, and he's really going to bring all of this together. But to your point, Nathan, as we grow, we're going to need to expand that staff and augment some of the skill set that we have. So if you know anybody or have anybody in mind, would love to start the early conversations as we prepare for 2025.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely reach out afterwards. Maybe we can set something up here for us to connect.
Perfect. Thanks, Nathan. Very good.
Any other questions? I don't want to cut us off too early, but at the same time, I want to be respectful of everybody's time. It looks like Drew has a question in the chat. Interested to see the ETA on the warehouse management component.
Yeah, so Drew, we actually have a partner that's working in the background for us already. So that's set up and ready to go. We need to do some stuff on our side. So we're probably in the Q4, early Q1 2025 to launch that, but Nexteris is actually doing that today. So we can put you in contact with them if you've gotten a certain need. Otherwise, on the BrillDog platform, we're probably in that Q4 early 2025.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Frank. And thanks to everybody for joining us this morning. I will get an email out to everyone who attended and those that weren't able to join us. So if you have a colleague that was going to attend but couldn't, we have recorded today's session. So we will make that recording available both through the follow-up email that I'll send in just a little bit, and it'll also be posted on TCCP's public-facing website. So if anybody missed it, they're welcome to go out there and check it out. I'll make sure to include Frank's direct contact information. So if you have follow-up, if you want to get in touch and schedule something with Frank or just pick his brain, he's got lots of brains to pick. So feel free to do that. I'll make sure to include that stuff in the follow-up email. And thank you, Frank, for taking time this morning. BrillDog is exciting. It's incredible to see what's happening in our own backyards, and we're really thankful for your involvement with TCCP. So I hope that everyone has a great rest of the day today, and you'll be hearing from me shortly.
Okay, thanks, everybody. Thanks, Alexis.